month for Black America, it's just another year. You knew the disrespect by your elected puppeteers, but let me show you how to persevere.
If you're wondering who I'm playing right now, Theo Croker. The song is It's Not You, It's Me, off his AfroPhysicist album. I told y'all all month long, I'm gonna be playing some jazz, you know, mixing it up. Theo Croker, dope artist, love his stuff. If you haven't heard of him, go check him out. Theo Croker, amazing jazz musician, amazing, I love him. Let that rock out. We got a lot of ground to cover on the show today. It's election time, so y'all already know what we're talking about. We'll be going over some current news, Donald Trump, stuff like that. The VP debate, last on the show. We'll talk about election 2020, packing the court, Supreme Court nominees, talk about some taxes, and even the 5 men, and basically what that means for domestic terrorism. They attempted to kidnap Michigan Governor Reachin. I have her name down here. So yeah, we'll get into all of that today. What about the baby? Oh, the one that, oh, that's not, that hurts right there. It was Pennsylvania where it happened. Montgomery, Pennsylvania. Okay. He's a sicko for that. Yeah.
Bail was $1 million.
He shouldn't have had bail. He raped the whole child. This is sick.
No one's gonna pay the cost that.
They bet not. That's sick. So, you know, if you're wondering who we're listening to, once again, this is Theo Croker. The song is It's Not You, It's Me, off of his AfroPhysicist album. Came out in 2014. Pretty dope. Wow. Let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy, J.D. Costa.
It is your girl, Katniss.
And together we are the Nitty Gritty. Yeah, so we were just kind of chatting about this. So let's go over some current news. Yeah, that was really sad. He was just talking about the baby. Dude raped a baby?
His own child.
His own child. Baby not even a year old, right?
10 months.
Just, I don't want to go into details because it's a sick. But I know he's in jail. They post $1 million bond. And this was a brother, right? So, like, you know, everybody be like, oh, yeah, when it comes to the legal system, black people they just want all black people to get off. No, we don't. We want that joke in the barbecue. That's the kind of dude that needs a death sentence right there. You know what I'm saying? You raped your own child. Y'all go ahead and get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't even get a last meal, in my opinion. Go ahead and just get him up out of here. See, black folks, we believe in justice. We believe in hard justice when it's deserved. Because that's a violent crime. Selling weed is not a violent crime. If that's all you did was sell the weed, that's not a violent crime. Why are you in jail for 20-something years? That don't make any sense, right? But a violent crime? Tory Lanez, I don't feel bad for him. They're talking about he might be facing 22 years and some change for shooting Meg Thee Stallion. And he deserved all them years if that's what he did, right? We believe in tough justice. Shoot, it was us that pushed the 94 crime bill. A lot of people forget that. We got tired of innocent black kids getting killed in the street by the gang members. So we went to the CDC, and they went to people like Biden and all of them, and they worked together, the Democrats. Plus, they wanted to prove to the Reaganites and all of them that they could be tough on crime too. Y'all gotta remember, we was behind that. You gotta know the history. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Know the history. Because I know it's kind of a big topic right now in discussion. We're gonna get into that later on. Also, current news. A lot of people are probably not gonna be watching tonight. This is the reason why we canceled last Friday, but we didn't want to cancel 2 Fridays in a row because we're already gonna not have a show for most of probably second half of November and December. So we wanted to at least get before you guys a day. Plus, it's election season. We wanted to share some information. But finals are going on. I'm rooting for LeBron and the Lakers, and yes, I did say it that way. LeBron and the Lakers. I'm a LeBron fan. Fan of his in Cleveland. Fan of his in Miami. Fan of his when he went back to Cleveland. Fan of his now that he's in the Lakers. I'm a LeBron fan. I know there's been some people that posted some stuff. Basically, they can post that, but they can't post my show. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You know who you are. I'm messy like that. But yeah, yeah, I'm a LeBron fan, and then also, you know, I'm cheering for him. I only buy DC paraphernalia, but I'm hoping they close it out tonight. I was hoping they close it out on Game 5, but Green and Morris messed that up at the end. I know everyone wants to say, "Oh, LeBron has no killer instinct." He did his thing. Everybody knows he did his thing in Game 5. If you say otherwise, you weren't watching the game.
In a series, it's hard to sweep in a series.
It is. Because, I mean, they're playing with their back against the wall. The Heat is hooping.
And they make the adjustments, and they hungry.
Yeah.
When you're above, you get a little lazy.
And I'll be honest, LA was moving very lackadaisical the first 2 games they won. It's like they did it effortlessly. And I think they didn't have that eye of the tiger moment in game 3, so they lost it. Then they came back, got them, and then, now we're here at game 6. So it's been entertaining at least. At least it wasn't a sweep, because that makes it better to watch. So hopefully they get it tonight. I want to see it over. Then of course, Vlad, I don't know if you heard about this, but lately they've been calling like people like Tamika Mallory, Lord Jamar, Godfrey, Nick Cannon even. They're all saying that Vlad is canceled. If y'all don't watch Vlad TV, well, I guess he been, and I've heard him. He's spoken out a lot on Minister Farrakhan. He said a lot of things that was very dismissive of the culture that he's making money off. So I understand why they're saying he's canceled. I just went ahead with the brothers and the sisters, and I went ahead and unsubscribed the other day, and instead I subscribed to Godfrey, and I subscribed to Nick Cannon's class instead. So I canceled one YouTube channel, whatever, that was owned by a white male, and I subscribed to 2 others that are owned by black men. So I did that. You know what I'm saying? I did it for the culture, baby. Also, we have the VP debate that just happened. What's your thoughts? I know the Fly Star, you just stole the show, but what was your thoughts on the vice presidential debate?
Of course, Mike Pence did not debunk white supremacy, similar to Trump. He was rude because he kept going over time and was not respecting the moderator, letting him know, like, hey, your time is up. I felt Kamala did a better job than Joe Biden. She had stronger points.
I think they both stayed a little bit more on task with policy more so than the other 2.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to vote for Biden and Harris. But at the end of the day, neither Republicans or Democrats spoke clearly about what their plan for black people is. So.
Yeah, and I mean, none of them really spoke clear about all the policies and how they're going to get a thing done. I remember back when Mitt Romney and Obama were debating, we heard a lot about how they plan to spend trillions of dollars and where they want to get the money from, how they plan to spend. I remember even George Bush versus Kerry. There was a lot of conversation on where the money was going to go, where the money's going to come from, what policies are going to... You get what I'm saying? Like, it was very clear to the American public at least what the plan was, whether it was executed accordingly the same way. There was a lot of plan as to why and how they plan on getting these things done. We haven't heard that in the last 4 years. We didn't really get that. It was all about emails last election, right? And in this election, it's been about everything but what the American public really wants or interested in.
Washington State Republicans, Trump and Pence made it about China. They're making it about China.
Yeah, just goofiness. You know what I'm saying? And that's an important conversation in a way. Like, I get, why it's important and the financial relationship with another power. But, there are other things closer to home that people want to hear about, and we don't get none of that conversation. So, and then that fly stole the show. That fly landed on his head. When Mike Pence was going on his little riff on how there is no such thing as systematic racism in America, and saying that racial sensitivity training is bias itself and things like that. That's when that fly landed on his head, because they could smell the bull crap coming out of his mouth, and it landed on his head. And the thing that cracked me up is, man, you don't feel this fly on your head? That's what was wild. So that happened. And then in most recent news, Donald Trump is going around saying he's immune to the coronavirus. Twitter actually took the post down because it's basically a lie.
Something is wrong with Donald Trump, because that kind of rhetoric, it is harmful, knowing how devastating and how detrimental the coronavirus is to people.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's just like, sir, he just wants to make it look like he's healthy, but he has the money to pay for top doctors in medicine.
And he's the president. He doesn't even have to pay for them now. The president, it's a proven fact. Multiple magazines have released this information, but any president tends to live longer than men of his,
because they have
his age class, because of the health care that the president receives.
Yeah.
So if the average male in your generation dies at the age of 75, a president will live on to like 90, because of the supreme health care that the president receives from the day he enters office until his dying day. They get Secret Service until the day they die. Mm-hmm. You get like 1 or 2 guys that's going to protect you for the rest of your life. Like when you're the president, you receive that $400,000 salary for the rest of your life, which is not a big deal to most because most of them are millionaires, right? But still, now that's extra money that Donald Trump is going to get for the rest of his life, $400,000. So we can just go ahead and vote him out here and get him out. You get what I'm saying? So, but him talking about he's immune, him taking off the mask. Now I more so believe that him having the coronavirus is a hoax. Everybody else in the world needed to quarantine for 14 days, if not more. Even Trey Songz, who's a millionaire, is quarantining for 14 days plus till he gets 2 negative reads. And the Trump and we can look at Trey Songz until he's way in much better shape than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is all gut and butt. Trey Songz at least got abs, healthy, you know, a hot throb still.
I don't know what he got going on, but
yeah. And then he's pushing these drugs in the process. This man is promoting more products and things in office than anybody else. I mean, you're not even supposed to be doing that in the presidential office.
I don't know what Donald has going on, sir.
Yeah, true.
Sir, you know, as I said before, I find him to be very entertaining. I know that doesn't make the viewers probably like, why cat? I don't know, he's just so outlandish. Just like, he brings literally the drama of reality TV to the White House.
That's what it is. And that's what it is. You know, as the executive producer of the Celebrity Apprentice, what else do you expect? You get what I'm saying? So, let's go over some voting. Let's just get down to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about election 2020. So, obviously we're talking about Trump. Yeah, I know the election is November 3rd. Mail in your ballots now. If you haven't registered for vote, I know in a lot of states like New York and stuff like that, it's too late. North Carolina, I think, yeah, New York, North Carolina, all them people, I think your last day to register to vote was Friday. So if you haven't done it, it's too late. Now, you do have places like Oregon, you still got time to register. Pennsylvania, you still got time to register. South Dakota, there's still time. Utah, still time. You even got 11 days until by mail. Virginia, I think your last day to vote is Monday. You got 22 days for the election. So your last day to register to vote is going to be Monday if you're living in Virginia. West Virginia, you still got time. Wyoming, you still got time. Wisconsin, you have to the Friday before election day to register to vote. So folks, this is not a game. Please make sure you vote. Utah, still time. I think I called out Utah.
If you're tuning in, let us shout
out your area so we know where you're at. New Jersey, you still have time. I think you have until Tuesday to vote. I know that it's like, Juan, why are you going through all this? Because if you're watching this, I'm going to make sure wherever you live, if you know someone that lives in these states, tell them to vote. New Hampshire, you still have time. Nebraska still has time.
Better yet, just tell
Montana.
Just tell them where to go.
And then I'll tell y'all where I'm reading this from. All right, we'll do it the smart way, Cap. Go to vote.org. You can go to vote.org and they will tell you, all you have to do is look up voter registration deadlines. And they'll let you know how much time you have according to the state. And it's listed in alphabetical order. So you can't mess it up. Please vote, people. And every election they say, you got to vote for your life. And that's true. That's every election. Every election you're voting for your life. And even if we win this election, you still have a duty. Win or lose. If Trump manages to stay in office, all right, well, you still supposed to I'm a taxpayer, and you got to take care of me as an American citizen. This is what we need you to do for us. You got to earn that seat. You just can't get up there and do whatever you want to do. And keep in mind, there's more on the ballot than just a president. We have multiple Senate elections, congressional elections going on. You have various Secretary of State for various states. You have a lot on the ballot in just that. There's certain laws going through. Whether or not we get a new Supreme Court justice, that could be at hand, right? So keep in mind when you're voting, you're not just voting for the office as a president. There are things closer to home that you must consider. So please vote. Mm-hmm. All these people talking about Biden and lesser of two evils. All right, whatever. What are you going to do about your Senate? Mm-hmm. We have a chance to get out Mitch McConnell. We have a chance to get out old boy out there in Carolina who's been a pain in the butt. People got to remember, just because you're president doesn't mean your agenda is going to go through. Because if you don't have majority support from the House or the Senate, just like all the few black things that President Obama did try to do, got held up by the House and the Senate. Mm-hmm. He barely got gay rights passed and the Affordable Health Care Act. right? So anytime he tried to make a move for anything more drastic to the black community, it got stopped by a majority House and Senate that was Republican. So people, you guys got to keep that in consideration when you vote. Also, a big thing that they've been talking about is fracking, right? Fracking is how they pull oil up from out the ground and all that. People asking, the Biden campaign is against fracking, Harris is against fracking, Trump was before fracking. Here's the thing. How many of you out there are making money from oil and actually fracking oil? Please tell me, how many of you make money in that? Because what I do know about the industry is that the Rockefeller family left oil, I think it was early this year, in the last 2019. They got out of oil. So one of the families, the most notable family that's made money from oil and fracking and all that, left the industry because they could see the new wave, which is electric cars. So why are we questioning whether or not people care about coal and fracking? Why is that even part of the conversation, Kat? It's like, it's 2020, and that's almost like somebody saying, well, what we going to do about payphones? This president doesn't support payphones. Who uses a payphone now when we all got cell phones? You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to drive that home. So people keep on talking about fracking, and I just don't understand, in today's world, who really cares?
It doesn't matter.
Cars are obviously taking a new direction, so who cares about fracking? I had to throw that one out there. The other big thing they're talking about is packing the court. So when they talk about packing the court, what they mean by that is, right now we have 9 Supreme Court justices, and they're wary that if Amy Coney Barrett gets nominated to the Supreme Court to take Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat, then what happens is we have this person who's pro-Second Amendment, she's anti-abortion and all of that, she's anti-Roe versus Wade. So we're like, is that going to be overturned? Because right now we know Trump is in the courts now trying to overturn Roe versus Wade, right? And that's rights as a woman that you would have out there to make a choice for your body depending. I'm pro-life in the sense that I would like us to manage life, but then I'm pro-life in the sense that I want to maintain life when it's here. Most people who claim they're pro-life for the Republican side, they're pro-life because they're pro-birth. But then they won't write into law, they won't legislate laws that benefit your child in education and health. They would rather take those things away. They claim they're pro-life, but then they won't allow your college student, because kids can stay up in school until 26. They don't want them to be on your insurance policy anymore. That's what happens when you roll back away the Affordable Health Care Act. They're saying that the Affordable Health Care Act is unconstitutional. But I know as a citizen, I have private insurance. So all this rumor that Biden and Obama and everyone else wants to take away your private insurance, is a lie. I have private insurance through my employer. You have private insurance through your employer, right? So we know that hasn't gone away because of the Affordable Health Care Act, but we know millions of Americans with pre-existing conditions now have care according to the Affordable Health Care Act. And if you take that away at a time when there's a pandemic going around that plagues primarily as far as from a lethal standpoint on those who have a pre-existing condition, you're putting 20 of millions of people in danger now. People with diabetes, people with high blood pressure, people with asthma, people with any kind of pre-existing condition, cancer, you name it, you're going to be more susceptible now, more than ever, to the coronavirus. President Trump is a billionaire and a president. So maybe he could have, I don't believe it, but maybe he could have really got over the coronavirus. He gets an experimental drug that the average American can't get. You get what I'm saying? So I just want people I want us to use our marbles when we're going into this. You feel me, Kat?
Yeah.
Are you here with me? Are you here with me? Girl, you used to look sleepy. I know, like, yeah, just bear with me a little bit, all right? I should have got you a coffee. That's why they have coffee on them sets. So when people start getting drowsy, you can wake them back up again. You know what I'm saying?
Coffee.
You know? You should have had a coffee. Or like an energy drink. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a coffee after this. You know, and then we can watch the rest of the game or something. Sorry, y'all. So you talk about packing the court. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett. There's some key things you understand about her. And I think most of the American public agrees that we don't want to pack the court, meaning we don't want to extend the Supreme Court justice to an additional 4 seats. We don't want to see 13 Supreme Court justices. Most of America doesn't want that, but at the same time, most of America doesn't want a swift nomination either. Most Americans, that's even Republicans and your conservatives as well, they agree we don't want someone nominated yet. We would rather wait till after the election, win or lose. We would rather see what happens at the election before we nominate a new Supreme Court justice, because we already had 2 since Trump has been in office. Maybe 3. So a lot of people are saying, well, let's wait and let's see. Another concern about Amy Barrett is she says she's pro anti-abortion. That's like a double negative. And she's pro Second Amendment. So she believes that you carry your gun and all of that. And we see what happened recently in the news with the shooting, when they tried to say that a Black Lives Matter person did it. Then when the real information came out, it was a security detail for a news affiliate that shot that gentleman, that harassed him, right? And now people are protesting for this person who's been shot. That's the very thing black people been talking about with all these unarmed black men. Keep in mind, the difference here is, in none of these situations did you see the black men actually assault these white cops. Hands was up, we was on the ground with a knee on our neck, handcuffed like Oscar Grant, and still got shot in the back because somebody was trying to use a taser. But why are you trying to tase a man who's already handcuffed on the ground? There's no need to do that. Just let him squirm on the ground. He's handcuffed. He's not a danger to anybody. He should have never got shot. And now all of a sudden people from the right want to come out and say, this is injustice, the shooting, yada, yada, yada. It's like, what do you think we were saying when we were saying say their names? You get what I'm saying? So she's pro Second Amendment, and almost an exact quote, but not quite. She says she believes the court has a duty to the law, but not to solve every problem in society. So you want to be a Supreme Court justice where things like Roe v. Wade was passed to the Supreme Court. Brown versus Education, which allowed the desegregation of schools so that I can have a full right to education just like a white kid does. You have to see the danger of her saying, well, you know, that's not really our problem. We want to uphold the law.
Yeah. I just tell people to go vote. Juan's more really into the nitty gritty of the politics and stuff, so if you want to have a conversation about that with him, he's great. I just tell people to go vote. Vote your interest, and that's what I tell people. Because I just don't get into all the politics like that. I think both sides have done black people wrong, so for me, it's just...
But you gotta vote, though.
What? That's what I'm saying, go vote.
Yeah, you gotta vote. So
figure out what's best for you.
And so, I mean, those are the things to consider with her. And then, also concerning her nomination, there's 28 Republican governors right now in the United States. 4 of them have gone against the others, are trying to hurry up as far as endorsing her confirmation. Mm-hmm. Those 4 are Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut, and then our very own Governor Hogan here in Maryland. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is, I agree with like the Candace Owens and them of the world fundamentally about us being overtly Democrat, but where she loses me is when you support Trump, because what is Trump for the black community if that's the case? But I agree there are Republicans out there worthy to vote. Like, I like John Kasich. If John Kasich was in this election, that would be a different kind of thing to talk about. I like Governor Hogan here in Maryland because he's fair.
He's more of a moderate.
Yeah, but most of the country is moderate. And I think the problem with what's going on is a lot of these issues we're talking about, they're just like these polar existing sides. So they spread everybody either far left or far right. And now, actually, most of America is, you know, honestly, we don't really care about the gay thing like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like they have the right to get married now, which they should. I mean, hey, 2 people decide they're in love, they want to get married, you give them that. But it's like, whether or not you're pro or not, at this point, just don't take any rights away. You know, I don't know why that phone is ringing at this time of night, but it is. My bad, y'all.
Well, I mean, you know, we only got...
Yeah, I know most people, y'all watching the game, y'all not even here. We're actually going to have a short show tonight and cut early. Before we stop, I do want to talk about taxes, because this was talking about during the debate. When you talk about trickle-down taxes, because everybody's like, you know, there's tax cuts. Those taxes are for the rich. Just to bring out a few facts about taxes. the things that you would typically claim in your taxes, Trumpgate took that away from you. The way you would claim taxes for what you got paid for your home, like electric cars, business expenses, a lot of those, he took those tax cuts away from you, right? So when people talk about raising taxes, the Democrats always want to raise taxes. Well, they specifically want to raise taxes for those who make a household income of more than $400,000 a year. I'm not there yet, right? So, I mean, that only hurts a few number of people, and you get to make $400,000 a year as a couple. That means you're both making $200,000, or somebody's making $300,000, the other one making $100,000. That's a lot of darn money. You could probably afford to pay more in taxes. Now, people making less than that, you add our taxes, that's going to hurt us more, right? So simply, the tax plan there is to get more out of them. Elisa Seth, what's up? Shout out, Maryland. She said we need to change some of these laws, and we do. Some of these tax laws are just ridiculous, and we need to get more tax out of corporations. There are corporations there paying less in taxes than I do as an individual. Amazon paid $0 in taxes. They're a $1 trillion company. I paid way more than zero, y'all. Right? I paid more than taxes than Trump did. He paid $750. I paid definitely way more than that in taxes. Right? So when we talk about tax law, I just don't understand the little minions out there that support Trump. It's like they're satisfied being broke and living in a trailer park or whatever your situation is, and you're cool with, well, it's smart that he's getting over on the system. That's just dumb to me. Lana, what's good? Shout out KC in the building. Hey. I figured y'all was watching the game or something. We're having a short show today, but we didn't want to not see y'all at all. We had to talk about some of this election stuff. You feel me? Maybe this will wake Katrina up. She's struggling, y'all. We had a busy weekend, so if I could just brag on you, is it alright if I mention this? All right. So Katrina, she works really hard in her industry, and she was receiving the World Award for the Women in Color STEM Award. Did I say that right?
Women of Color.
I said women in. I meant to say Women of Color STEM Award for her excellent work on the project she works on. So I'm really proud of her. So we have been celebrating her this weekend. We went to dinner. We had a busy day yesterday. For those who don't know, we are a couple. First fam, right? We're getting married next year, April. So we had a bunch of wedding stuff to do. So I know y'all probably looking at like, what's going on with Kat? She good? She good, y'all. We just had a very busy week. I'm only up because I drank a Red Bull before the show. So I'm hyped. And then we're talking about politics. So y'all know how I get down. We got some comments.
I don't like politics like that.
Yeah,
if this was relationship talk, I would be all up in it.
And we're going to probably go heavy on relationships in November, but we're just trying to get through this election.
You be talking about politics, and then when he be at dinner with people like, so what do you think about the election? I don't care. I'm voting for Biden and Harris. That's all you're going to get out of me. I don't really get into the nitty gritty of it all because in my opinion, neither party benefits me as a black woman. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care. And
that's why we got to be on their head when they're in office. Like, y'all, our work is not done when we vote. The work has to be continued. Activism, right? You have to activate your right. You have to write people. You have to reach out to your school board. These folks, you need to know them and let them know your face and how you feel. I used to be on the PTA, and I was the only male out of our local PTA, let alone being a black man. I was our delegate from my school, or my child's school. And when I went to the delegate meetings, I was like still the minority. There's hardly any black people there, let alone any fathers there. So what I would represent as a black father being part of the PTA is huge. And to have that voice to say, you can't start saying this law, that law, then it's like, as a black father, you can raise your hand and say, wait a minute, but how's that going to hurt other black children? Or families like me? You're saying we should do this, but the only people there typically, if I could be honest with you guys, are white housewives, right? Because if their husbands are making $400,000 a year in the Bethesda Chevy Chase area, right? They can stay at home, and then they can join the PTA, or the PTSA as they call it in some areas, and then they become the voice of everyone, and those voices don't necessarily align with our experience.
Elise says when you follow the devil, you can't see the truth. Isn't that it? That's it. Lana says brag.
Yeah. She deserves all her accolades. So I'm very proud of Kat and everything she's doing.
You know,
I'm trying to be a supportive boo.
You support me because you know I'm be getting
I know you be going through it sometimes, but I think that's what we have to do for one another. As if we could talk a little relationships real quick, sidebar, black love. You know, when in a relationship, it shouldn't be competition within the relationship. Ideally, when you guys are together, you're on a united front. Her win is our win. My win is our win. You get what I'm saying? We win together. And even if one person is winning more than the other, trust me, she's winning more than me all the time, right? Boo got it. But we work together towards that. You get what I'm saying? And we have to. And when I look at the examples of couples who have made 40 and 50 years, they echo or say something similar. We had the haters on. They've been married for 20 years. And they were very emphatic about how you have to win and lose together as a couple.
You know, one thing I want to say, I don't know if you guys know this, but drum roll, Nitty Gritty Show is on all streaming platforms. So if you, for some reason, don't tune in on a Sunday or you miss the conversation, you can check us out on pretty much any major podcast platform. So Amazon, iHeartRadio,
Amazon, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, and
Castbox,
and Spotify.
And Spotify.
Yep. So we're on various platforms now. Those are audios. So we take the shows and we take the audio of that, bring it there. Don't forget, we're still live here Sundays, 8 p.m. IG, Facebook, and then we have our YouTube, right? That we always post the following day, and then we have the Soapbox. Every Wednesday we post towards the afternoon our Soapbox series, and then new coming. We're gonna have a separate interview series where we do one-on-one off-camera interviews with like local politicians and specialists in their own right, because it's hard for them to get here on a Sunday night at 8 sometimes. So we're doing a separate interview selection for those. So see those coming out. We'll be breaking them up and then releasing the full interview in time. But we'll be breaking up in 5-10 minute segments, so you get pieces of it, and then you can see the whole thing. And we'll be breaking that down on YouTube and releasing it on IG and Facebook. So look for that soon. That'll be dropping here before the new year. Getting us back, I want to quote somebody, good brother, Dr. Rashawn Ray. He's been on the Nitty Gritty a few times. He's one of the individuals we're hoping to get on our new interview platform. Part of the Nitty Gritty Show, but he said this recently. He says 75% of domestic terrorist acts are committed by right-wing extremists, 75% of whom are white supremacists. Dr. Rashawn Ray, good brother, alpha man, all that good stuff, right?
You know, I also said voteless people is the hopeless people.
That's right. And that's why you gotta vote.
That's why you gotta vote.
You gotta vote. And shout out to Rashawn Ray. Rashawn, we reading this. You know, we love you here at the Nitty Gritty Show. But he made a good point, and that was very paramount. And this will be the last bit of our conversation when you deal with the situation in Michigan. They tried to kidnap recently the governor of Michigan. I had the story pulled up. The FBI had to get involved. It was crazy. They tried to Governor Gretchen Whitmer. She's the governor of Michigan. If you realize, just recently, earlier during the COVID season, that was when all those militia groups stormed the Capitol building in Michigan.
Big guns.
And what they don't realize is attitude reflects leadership. And when Trump is making comments where he won't denounce white supremacy, he won't acknowledge that we have an issue, even though George Bush, and you can even say Barack Obama for that matter, and Clinton and Reagan, all of them down the line, even though none of them have ever pushed any true black legislation. One thing all of them did is when they talk to the public, they always try to unify the American people. Even if their legislation didn't prove that they really felt that we were all equal, at least with their words, they pretended enough, they respected the seat enough to pretend to at least put words out that will calm the American public. They never helped incite further problem or trouble, right? That's between all of them. And what we see now is Trump is inciting these riots. He is encouraging people to say, oh, be at the polls and watch. And some of these polls are intimidating. Like, he might say, I only mean to watch. I didn't tell them to do anything. But we know there's going to be those that's going to take it into their own hands that say, well, when I'm watching the polls, if you don't look right to me, and what does that really mean, right? they're going to tell you to get away from the polls, go somewhere else. They used to do this back in the day. That's why we had to have voter protection laws for black people so that they wouldn't try to ask us some test like how many bubbles in the bar, soap, and dumb stuff like that keep us from voting, right?
And shout out to Blackish.
Blackish, that was dope. Yeah, that special they did after the election. And they really just broke down voting and what it means. People need to hear that. I know some folks like, I just want to laugh. But it's kind of just sit back and laugh when you have so much going on in society. People need to be educated. Mm-hmm. You know, so 5 men, white men, you know, not a racist statement. It's just a fact. 5 white men had a plot. They were foiled by the FBI, but they had a plot of kidnapping and then killing this governor. And yes, for those that don't understand in the room, she's a white woman and she's a Democrat. So at this point, the hate is so real, it goes beyond color. It's like, oh, if you're a Democrat, you're a threat that I have to kill. Not vote out, not use the proper lines. Yeah, they like, we're going to kidnap her and put her out. And so they're thinking that there in Michigan, you know they're thinking that in other places.
Let's see what their sentence is.
Yeah, I want to see what happened. They need to see life in prison. They need to be treated like a terrorist. They need to be in Guantanamo Bay somewhere, right, and never see the light of day. But this is what we're up against. And I'm just, you know, and we'll go more into this next week, and we'll have other things to talk about as well. But, you know, we didn't want to cancel another show. We just wanted to come before you guys. Once again, encourage you guys to vote. Look, we only have 3 weeks left. A lot of states, it's already, your time to register is already passed, right? There's a few states you guys still have time. Please, people, vote.org, right? Go see what, if you still have time to register. There's been all kind of advertisements on Facebook, YouTube. If you're watching the NBA Finals right now, there's every commercial break. The NBA has their own organization to help get people to register to vote, right? So please, go out there and vote. Make sure you are heard. If you have any other comments? If not, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up for you guys. Thanks, Luggage. She said, you're like Google, know everything. You funny. But no, this is true. Vote.org. If you don't know where you stand, go there, see if you register to vote. Make sure you vote. It is so important. Thank everybody who joined on today. We're doing only a short show because we know it's the finals. There's a reason why we canceled last Sunday. We didn't want to go 2 days straight canceling. But we're so happy that you came on and gave us some time to listen in. We'll be back before you again next Sunday. We'll have some more talk and debate on some things, and hopefully people will go away educated. Before we leave, we have a couple of shout-outs. All right, got some birthday shout-outs. Got a bunch of them. Shout out to CJ Berry. Shout out to Lemon Poindexter. Shout out to my homeboy Prince. Shout out to Lucia Tyler. Shout out to my pop, Herman Altar. Right? They went to a 70s party this weekend. They was looking good.
How you gonna have your cousin on there, but you ain't got your brother-in-law on there?
I'm gonna get to him. I know that he just had his birthday though.
He didn't have it.
Who? Chris Hawkins.
He didn't have his birthday yet.
But isn't it coming up?
Yes.
All right then. So I didn't have to write that one down. I know that. Thank you. Man, just let me. Can I get through the list?
Y'all see this face? He gonna try to clear it up by saying he just had his birthday, right?
I mean, she knew what I meant. You know what I'm saying?
What is his birthday?
I don't know about her. Let me tell you, put me on
It's the same birthday as Tiffany's. Same day.
That means it's Tuesday then, right?
That means it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the 12th. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna get to him where I'm okay. I knew it was coming up this weekend because we talked about him coming down in town. Remember? So of course I knew. Y'all see how she's trying to play me, y'all. All right. Look, Chris Hawkins, happy birthday. All right, Lord. Shout out. I was saying Herman Altar. She interrupted me talking about my pop. You know, but Herman Altar, happy birthday to you. Today, Wanda Costa's birthday. Happy birthday. Sienna Amante, happy birthday. Tiffany Smith, we just kind of finished talking about you. Got your birthday coming up tomorrow. Shout out to Janae Mix, Jason Carver's little sister. She like a little sister to me now because me and Jason, we brothers. And shout out to Christopher McKinney. All right. Him and Lana, big time listeners of the show. We love y'all. Y'all like extended TNGS family. So I had to shout y'all out. And then also, I'm going to end y'all out on a beat. Like I said, I've been playing at least one jazz selection.
On a bop.
But then on a bop. But then at the same time, I was listening to some old like hip hop music, y'all, right? And I was listening to Digable Planets, and I was like, man, this album was amazing. It actually won a Grammy and everything. Their Reachin album from 1993. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna play some Digable Planets. And I was telling myself the whole time, come Nitty Gritty Show Sunday, I'm gonna drop some Digable Planets on them. There's a song I really like from their album. It's called Rebirth of Slick, or as you might know it, Cool Like That. So I'm like, you know what? Let me play this joint for y'all. Digable Planets, Cool Like That, or Rebirth of Slick is the official name of the song. And we're gonna end like that. It was only a 40-minute show today, y'all. Like I said, we know it's the finals. You know most of y'all can't fully tune in like you want to, because you're witnessing greatness. LeBron, I haven't even been watching the game, but I'm hoping him and AD are doing great things. When I was watching before, Caldwell Pope was hooping. So we're gonna catch the rest of this and check it out. Look, once again, everybody, thank you guys for watching. We are on all these platforms now. Check us out. We're still on squadlocker.com. Look up The Nitty Gritty Show. You have to type the whole thing like a Tribe Called Quest. We have merch there, everything from Rydell to Under Armour to Adidas. Check us out, buy some. Holiday season, you know, get some, box some Nitty Gritty apparel, alright? Hook us up. It is good stuff over there. Kat, do you have any last words for our audience?
Have an amazing week. And holiday, you're off tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's Indigenous People Day. You know what I'm saying? The only Christopher we recognize is Christopher Wallace. Shout out Notorious B.I.G.
And the only Christopher I recognize is my brother, Christopher Hawkins.
Yeah, that's what's up. Talk that talk. Look, everybody, thank you guys for watching. We'll have a 4-hour show again next Sunday. In the meantime, enjoy the finals. We'll see y'all soon. And if you have a 3-day weekend, enjoy it. We out. It's your boy Jay Costa. And together we are the Nitty Gritty. We out. We out.
I'm cool like that. I'm cool like